All right, let's get to the two news items involving Florida State football this week. One very unfortunate, the other one can be interpreted anyway, but we will certainly address it here. So first and foremost, Winston Wright, the talented wide receiver coming in from West Virginia, caught 63 passes for the Mountaineers last year. So a welcome addition to this team, but unfortunately in an auto accident over the weekend.
Yeah, reportedly got into an automobile accident in Savannah, Georgia. Uh, Different reports are saying that he was in there was a two-car accident. He was not in the car that was allegedly at fault. That another car turned into their car, kept them from going. But he went to the hospital with a what was described as a serious but not life-threatening injury. Reports are saying that it was a leg injury. From there, obviously, let's just look at it as a person first and foremost. So obviously, we wish the absolute best, speedy recovery to both him, anyone else who was injured in the accident. Obviously, first and foremost, that comes before anything football related. But obviously, we are a football show, so we do have to talk about the football aspect of it. If you are Florida State, we've talked about how much the wide receiver position was going to be a question mark entering the season, and how much the transfers coming in, right? Michael Pittman from Oregon, players from Arizona State, other locations who were coming in here, how this was going to matter. So I guess the question of concern comes in is if this is one less target, does this open up more room for guys like Pittman and some of the other transfers coming in to get more exposure, or is this just another hit? And like we've talked about, you said this before, after last season with Andrew Parchment being an utter disappointment as a transfer from when he came in from Kansas, and the other wide receivers come in, there's no real bona fide number one wide receiver. So that's the question now: is will Winston Wright possibly, God willing, the injury is not that serious, will he be able to possibly be back in time for the fall?
Yeah, so again, this happened over the weekend. It's going to be some time before we completely understand where he stands physically. But of course, our best goes out to Winston Wright, first and foremost, as a human being, that he's just okay, which it appears to be so at this point. But then beyond there, of course, we want to see him on the field for Florida State producing results.
And I think this will open up, once again, I hate to be the guy looking at it from the football aspect of it in a situation like this, but I think it will open up the door. It does open up a spot to allow guys, like Pittman, like Jones, like some of the other transfers coming in. It's going to open up a spot like that. And so that's going to be the question I think this is one step closer to, I'm going to come out and say, I think Michael Pittman is now one step closer. Is being one step closer to being either the number one or number two wide receiver for Florida State for that opener against Duquesne. I think that's where we're setting on that course right now, because Pittman's now going to get that extra exposure here in spring football.